What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your lives to the fullest today. Today it is March 23rd and it is about like 75 degrees. I'm honestly hot here in my sweatshirt, but that is why we are reviewing the 2023 Subaru Legacy Sport. Huge thank you to Tyler Wright over at Stohlman Subaru of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Legacy or any Subaru product, I'll be sure to have Tyler's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. With that said, let's get into the video. A couple weeks ago, I did a video with a Legacy Limited. If you guys want to check that out, I'll link that in the upper right-hand section of this video. But as soon as I got back with the Legacy Limited after I finished the review, a Sport had just arrived and I wanted to do the Sport. But anyway, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, whatever it is, we finally got a Sport to review, which I'm excited for. So let's just jump right into the video and talk about the exterior and performance. So, like I said, this is a 2023 Subaru Legacy Sport, and this particular one has been painted in crystal black silica. So for 2023, the Legacy as a whole did get a refreshed design with a tweaked front bumper, a larger grille, and updated headlights. Now, new to the Sport trim specifically for 2023, you now get the standard 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder, as well as this red grille stripe and magnetic gray mirror caps. I'll show you guys that as we progress along in this video, but let's start over here at our headlights. So we do get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights towards the bottom of your front bumper. Now, working our way to the center of the front end, let's talk about our front grille. So you do get a satin gray front grille with two gray grille bars on either side of your Subaru emblem. And then just above those gray grille bars, you have those red accents. Those are Sport specific red accents, and I believe those are new for 2023. Obviously, you guys can see at the center of the grille, you have your Subaru emblem, and then you get some satin gray lower grills, lower center grille, and then you have your lower outer grills, or basically like gray trim surrounding your fog lights to give it a more sporty appearance. Now, one thing that I like about the Legacy as a whole is that they have this little body line right here, which kind of reminds me of the body line that you find on new body F-150s, just to give it the appearance that it has fender flares, and it just sets the Legacy off nicely in my personal opinion. To the right of that, you get your Sport badging. So on both front fenders, you get Sport badging, and then working our way down just a touch, you do get a Sport tuned independent suspension with the Sport, as well as active torque vectoring. And then just below that, you guys can see with the Sport, you get these 18-inch gray wheels wrapped in 225/50 Yokohama Avid GT tires. Give you guys a view of the tread pattern on those tires. And I am going to interject my opinion here. Subaru, you really have to step up your wheel game. These wheels on the Sport model, come on. I know you guys can do better, because my buddy has a 2015 STI and his wheels are really, really nice. These wheels, they're not it in my personal opinion. Now, this particular Sport does have the optional $195 splash guards, which you will find behind all four of your wheels and tires. Now, working our way up to our mirror, you do get magnetite gray mirror caps with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors are heated, power adjustable. You will find your blind spot monitoring on the inside of your mirror, and about like right there on your passenger side. This one also is optioned with the $285 auto dimming mirrors with approach light. So these mirrors, if you know somebody's behind you at night and they're flashing their high beams at you, or they have their high beams held to you, these both side view mirrors will auto dim, which is very nice. And then you have a nice little approach light right here, which basically illuminates all of this area, which is very, very nice at night. One thing I wanted to highlight is that with the Sport, you guys do get fixed crossbar mounting points up top here. So there's one, and then there's the two. So that's the front one, and then that is the back one. You guys can see the sunroof does come standard with the Sport. You do get black window trim. You get body color door handles with keyless access. The little side note to that, only the front two doors get the keyless access stuff. So you can unlock the vehicle by just putting your hand behind here, and then you can lock the vehicle by running your finger across these two hash marks towards the front of the door handle. And then at the bottom, you guys can see you have a body color rocker. And up top here, you do get a body color shark fin antenna. Your third brake light is located right there. And then with the Sport, you guys do get this magnetite gray rear trunk spoiler. Again, this trunk spoiler is specific to the Sport trim level. You also get smoked taillights, which look really good. So they kind of just the taillights themselves kind of have a little bit of a smoked look to them, but then they are trimmed in black, which looks really good. So even if you got like a white Legacy, this piece right here and all throughout here would all be black. It looks really good, and especially here on this black, I think it looks very, very good. And then at the center of your trunk is where you will find your Subaru emblem. Below your Subaru emblem, you have your backup camera located right there. Backup camera is standard, obviously. I think 2018 and up, it was mandated in the United States for all vehicles, no matter what. Base model Honda, base model Subaru, they all have to have backup cameras. You get chrome badging back here, and then that is your sport specific badge. And then underneath your Subaru emblem, you have a little pad. So if you press on that pad and pull up, your trunk will open up. So this particular Legacy does have the optional $141 all-weather floor mats, which are located right here. Basically just rubber floor mats at all four corners. However, these floor mats come standard with the Legacy, and you guys can see what is sewn into them. You get that sport logo, and then they are trimmed in some red accent colored stitching. Looks very, very nice. And then I do have a messed up finger, so I'm gonna pull up on this with my left hand, and then you got your jack, tow hook, and etc. And then I believe underneath all of that is where you will find your spare tire. So good amount of storage space down under, or down in here, and then you have your spare tire underneath all of that. This one also is optioned with the $76 windshield sunshade, which I believe is what is in this box here. I'm not going to open it up, obviously. I'm going to let the owner do that. But one more thing before we close the trunk is that if I pulled on this, or if I pulled on this, that would release the second row seats. So then you can fold down the second row seats, and you can fit quite a bit more cargo with those second row seats down. We'll close the trunk. You get 4 backup sensors back here as well. So you get 1, 2, 3, and 4. You also get a satin black rear valance. And then what is sport specific here is the dual stainless steel exhaust tips. Obviously looks pretty sweet, and the sport trim level should obviously have a dual exhaust. And honestly, I was sitting behind it with it on, and it had a little bit of a growl to it. It wasn't like super loud. It was actually rather subtle, but I think a lot of you guys will appreciate a subtle exhaust growl. So opening this thing up, that is what that looks like. Not really any fuel recommendations or anything like that. So I believe you could put 87 octane in this and be totally fine. But let me know what you guys think of the 2023 Legacy Sport in the comments down below. I think the biggest highlight, at least for me, and my favorite thing for the 2023 model year would be that now standard you get the 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder rather than the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter. So yes, you make quite a bit more horsepower by like 80 horsepower ish, but your fuel economy numbers drop by about 4 or 5 miles per gallon in the city, and the same respectively for your highway mileage. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2.4 liter turbo boxer 4-cylinder that makes 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a linear-tronic continuously variable transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 6.1 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 23 miles per gallon in the city, 31 miles per gallon on the highway, for 26 miles per gallon combined with standard all-wheel drive. Now, like I mentioned, the 2.4 liter is new to the Legacy for 2023. It used to come with the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated motor. The naturally aspirated motor does get better fuel economy, but this one makes a heck of a lot more horsepower and torque, which personally, if it's the sport trim level, you got to give it the bigger engine. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. We are so close to 10K. I think we are less than 1,400 subscribers away. So if you guys would please take a second out of your day, give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior. All right, guys, moving into the interior, I wanted to show you guys a couple of the functions on the key fob. So you got your lock button, you got your unlock button, and then you have your trunk button and your panic button. When you lock it, you get 1 beep. When you unlock it, you get 2. And then you also do get keyless access, so all you got to do is come up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across those hash marks there, and you can hear that the vehicle has locked. Now it is locked. Put your hand behind the door handle and it unlocks again. Now with the Sport, you guys do get this 2-tone interior with a cloth/leather mix with some red accent colored stitching. So you basically get leather down the center of the seat and cloth on the outer of the seat. So basically basically these seats are kind of like leather trimmed, I guess is the best way that I would describe them. But we're gonna start here at our door panel, and then we'll get into what these seats look like. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. So up top here, this is all vinyl wrapped. You get a black door handle, you get some like faux carbon fiber looking trim, red accent colored stitching. All of this, like right here to about right here, all of that is all leather wrapped, and you can see the red accent colored stitching. This is also a nicely padded armrest, again with that red stitching. Automatic up and down windows at all four corners. Pressing on that button will restrict your passenger window privileges, get your unlock and your lock functions, and then this is to control your power side view mirrors. At the bottom of the door panel, you get a good amount of miscellaneous storage space on this side, and then right here you have a great spot. You can set a Deer Park water bottle, but I don't quite think you're going to be able to set a smart water bottle. It's not going to fit. But taking a look at our door sill, you do get a satin black plastic door sill that says Subaru. I believe you get a 10-way power driver seat, but you do not get a power passenger seat. The passenger seat is manually adjustable. One thing I wanted to show you guys that I love about Subaru products is that these come forward and they also go back. And I believe you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of adjustability. So that's the most aggressive setting. And then if you pull that, that's the least aggressive setting. And then again, you have 5 settings in between. Love these seats, love the headrest. And then looking at the seats themselves, again, leather wrapped down the center of the seat, and then here and here, and then down here is all in cloth. And then the seats are leather trimmed, again with that red accent colored stitching. You guys will see that red accent colored stitching flows throughout the entire interior of the Sport. Like I mentioned, you get keyless access, so that does mean you do get push button start. Just push your foot down on the brake and push to start. And that is what the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder sounds like when you guys start it up. I'm going to turn the climate off just so you guys have better audio and, you know, better ability to hear me. Now, one thing I wanted to start after all of this stuff is down here, you guys get these Sport specific pedals. So they are aluminum with a little bit of rubber. And again, they just look super, super sporty, and they look pretty much the exact same as the pedals on my buddy's 2015 WRX STI. Obviously with his STI, he also has a clutch pedal, whereas obviously this one does not. But over here, again, this is all leather wrapped, red accent colored stitching. That's to pop open the trunk. This dial here is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster, as well as your backlit buttons. Let's take a look at our turn signal stock. So not only is this your turn signal stock, this is also your headlight control stock and your fog light control stock. So right now the headlights are in automatic. If I twist that down, that is headlights off, headlights automatic, daytime running lights on, and that is headlights always on. And then these are your fog light controls. So right now fog lights are off, fog lights are now on, and you can see that the fog lights are on over there. However, one thing I wanted to show you guys is that because we have daylight out here tonight, or not tonight, but right now, the headlights are in automatic. Now you can see the fog lights turn off. So the headlights have to be on in order to have your fog lights on. However, I believe if you have your headlights in automatic and your headlights are actually on because it is dark, then I believe your fog lights would be on, if that makes sense. But let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. I'm gonna close this door because those bugs are kind of loud, but I'm gonna roll the windows down because it's kind of hot. So I apologize if those bugs are annoying you, but you do get a leather wrapped steering wheel with some red accent colored stitching, and the steering wheel is heated. This is your heated steering wheel control. So now the heated steering wheel is on. You can see it's on by that amber light. Pull back up, now it is right back off. You do get a continuously variable transmission, but you can control the transmission with these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. So right hand side, upshift, left hand side, downshift. Over here, you have all of your different media controls. Right here, you have your adaptive cruise control stuff. And then below that, this is your SI drive. So this is basically your sport mode. And then this is your individual mode, which is basically like normal mode, if that makes sense. But let's take a listen to our horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the 2023 Legacy. This is to go back on a track. This is to go forward on a track. This is to switch between your different AM, FM, XM, USB, Bluetooth audio, all your different audio sources. That would be the button you would press. These buttons right here are to control your productivity screen. We'll get to that in a minute. This is to pick up on a phone call. This is to hang up on a phone call and or mute the audio system. This is to speak to the vehicle, so you can tell the vehicle, hey, Subaru, can you turn the AC up to 68 degrees? And it'll do that. And then you have your audio controls. And again, your adaptive cruise control and your sport mode and stuff like that. But let's go throughout our, actually, before we go throughout our screen, this is your windshield wiper control stock. But now let's go throughout our gauge cluster. So on the left-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your RPM gauge and your coolant temperature gauge. On the right-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your speedometer and your fuel gauge. You guys can see your fuel pump right there is pointing to the right-hand side of the vehicle. That means you fill the vehicle up on the right-hand side. Man, I want to turn the AC on, but I know it's going to mess up the audio. Now let's go throughout our productivity screen. So up top here, this is your instant fuel economy stuff. So right now it's saying we're not getting very good fuel economy. However, you know, if you're coasting down a hill or you're not really giving it that much gas in traffic, this will come to this side and it will turn green, basically signifying that you're getting better fuel economy. Right now, this is the auto stop start thing that's letting you know how long the auto stop start system has had the vehicle off for and how much fuel it has saved on that trip. So you can see the auto stop start system has turned the vehicle off for 4 minutes and it saved 0.03 gallons of fuel. And then below that, you got your digital speedometer readout. That lets us know that we're in park. That lets us know that we're in our intelligent mode. That's auto stop start off. That's our driver focus system is on at the moment. This is your driver focus system. Basically reads your eyes. So let's say, you know, I'm driving down the road and my eyes are focusing over here. It's basically gonna go beep. And it's gonna say focus on the road. That's basically what driver focus is. And then you can see where it says A and 38.2. That is your trip A information. And then below that, 39, that is your odometer. If you guys want to reset the 38.2, you have this button behind the turn signal stalk. Press and hold on that and boom, that will reset back down to 0. Let's go throughout the productivity screen. All you got to do is control it like up or down. Right now, I'm going to go down. So that is your auto stop start thing again. That's your tire pressure stuff. That's your compass, navigation stuff, audio stuff. That's the time and the ambient exterior temperature. Some more fuel stuff, fuel range, more analytical data, blah, blah, blah. I'll show you the screen that I personally would leave it on, and that would probably be the screen because I like the time and I like the temperature. Over here, like I mentioned, you do get push button start. So this is your push button start button. This is your driver focus, basically the system that reads your eyes. Got your hazard button, volume knob, front defroster, the driver temperature controls. Over here, you have your passenger temperature controls. You have your rear defroster. You have your tuning knob. If you press and hold on the tuning knob, that will bring you into your tone settings. So you can adjust the bass, the mid-range, and the treble, and the balance and the fader. And you can do vocal image control. And then above that, you have your passenger airbag on or off. Now let's go throughout the screen. So this Sport does come standard with the 11.6-inch Starlink infotainment system with built-in navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So let's go throughout our screen. So this is basically, you know, the home screen. So up top here, you have a couple different screens. So right now you have the audio screen. Click over to the right. That will bring you into your navigation. So it basically gives you the road name. And then you have your different acceleration percentage, fuel consumption, and the angle of which that we are on at the moment. And then you also have your weather. Below that, this is your home screen again. Map stuff, radio stuff, media stuff, phone stuff, app stuff, Subaru Starlink stuff, which is that one right there. My Subaru, Apple CarPlay, and your different settings. And then this is your second screen. Basically brings you into your car information. You can turn the display off by the push of that button. Get your valet mode, auto vehicle hold. Basically, if you're stuck in traffic, you're tired of holding your foot down on the brake by yourself, if you turn that on, basically the vehicle will hold you in place with its braking system by itself. That's to turn your traction control system on or off, and then you can also add a shortcut. Coming down here, this will bring you into your vehicle like settings and stuff. So these are your different vehicle settings. That's the first screen. Get your driver assistance settings, and then you can go into more settings. That's your home button. That's your auto stop start on or off button. This will bring you into your paired phones that the vehicle has paired. So right now my phone is paired, and then you have your driver profiles by the push of that button. We do not have any profiles set up at the moment. This is your climate control stack down here, at least for the moment. I'm going to block that glare. So right here is your climate stuff. That is what the climate screen looks like the majority of the time. You do get heated front seats, both with 3 levels of adjustability. So 1, 2, 3, and now it's off. And then if you click this will bring the climate throughout the entire screen, and that is what your climate control screen looks like. One thing that I thought was pretty cool is that you can either have the air be on you, on your head and on your feet, and then you can also have it on your head and your feet, but the majority of the air will blow on your head and less air will blow on your feet. I think that's pretty cool how you have both of those two different things. I've never really seen that in any other vehicle, so I can appreciate a little feature like that. I think that's pretty cool. Down here you have your electronic parking brake. This particular one has the optional $344 wireless charge pad, which is located down in here. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Let's see if it fits down in there. This is like one of the biggest phones you can buy on the market, and it fits down in there no problem. So just above your wireless charging pad, you have an auxiliary jack, a USB-C port, and a USB-A port. This is what your shifter looks like. You get some nice shifter leather down here with some red accent colored stitching. You throw it into drive and flip it over to the left. Now you can control the transmission with your steering wheel mounted paddles. This is to downshift. This is to upshift. I'm gonna throw it back into park. You get 2 cup holders here. You get a leather wrapped armrest with some red accent colored stitching. Opening this up, you get a spot right here. You can set business cards or any small paper product. This is height limited, as you guys can see. However, you have a deeper one down in here. I would say, you know, about a quarter of my forearm fits down in here. And you also get a 12-volt power outlet located right here. Now the GoPro's picking it up a little bit. So not the most amount of storage space down in there, but you can fit what you need to in there. And then over here, this is my iPhone 14 Pro Max again. And I want to show you guys that Subaru always thinks of great places to set your phone, which is something that I personally greatly appreciate. So you can set your phone over here in the door panel and it fits in there perfectly. Another spot you can set for the passenger would be above your glove box. So great spot you could set your phone there. Great spot you can set your phone in there. And then another spot here. And also, the rear passengers are not left out. It's the same thing in the rear. You can set your phone in the door panel in those rear seats as well. You do get a lockable glove box, so opening this up, good amount of storage space down in there. You can fit your owner's manual, napkins, straws, whatever kind of miscellaneous items you want to put in there, it will fit. You get all of this is leather wrapped with that red accent colored stitching down here. You get some faux carbon fiber trim. This, like right here, is all leather wrapped. More red accent colored stitching. You get 4 HVAC vents on the dash. You get 1, you get 2, 3, and 4. This comes standard on the Sport. This is your auto dimming rear view mirror with compass and home link. So let's say you live at a house with 3 different garage bays. You can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with these 3 buttons. So 1, 2, and 3. And if whatever reason you want to turn your auto dimming rear view mirror off, you can click that button right there and the auto dimming rear view mirror turns off. Click that button again and it will turn back on. You can tell it's on because you get that green light. Moving up here, you get a great spot that you can set your sunglasses. This is your Subaru Starling stuff, which is basically roadside assistance. I believe you get 3 years of that for free when you buy this new. And then you get a driver light, passenger light, both are LED. Sunroof comes standard on the Sport. It also will tilt like this. So if you guys want it to tilt, all you gotta do is push up on that and it will tilt. So you can see now it's tilted, push forward, and that will close it. And obviously it slides back like a regular sunroof does. Taking a look at our visor, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, as well as a spot for you can set money, registration, or any small paper product. One thing I wanted to show you guys is that this vanity mirror, let's say the sun is bothering you over here, you can slide that backwards, you can slide that forwards. Very, very nice. A lot of German vehicles do not do that. You get your eyesight cameras right here and your other eyesight camera right here. That leads me, I guess, very nicely into my next point. I'm gonna read over the eyesight suite of features for the Legacy for 2023. So the eyesight driver assistance system includes automatic emergency steering, as well as pre-collision braking, adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, pre-collision throttle management, lane departure warning, lane sway warning, lead vehicle alert. And then I'm going to reiterate this again, new for 2023 includes the automatic emergency steering. A couple other safety features I might as well highlight include the reverse automatic braking, the blind spot monitoring with the rear cross traffic alert. A couple other, cool features that I thought I would highlight that come with the Sport as standard include heated front seats, a heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control with lane centering, as well as that auto dimming rear view mirror, the sunroof, and the driver focus system. So I already mentioned to you guys what the driver focus system does, but I'm going to reiterate it one more time because it's a pretty cool system. So let's say, you know, I'm cruising down the road and I'm going 50 miles an hour, but I'm looking over here and the vehicle will sense that. It'd be like, hey dude, you gotta focus on the road. So basically it'll go beep and it says focus on the road. So this is reading your eyes at all times while you guys are driving. The only option really that is notable here on the interior is the $344 wireless charge pad, but I am gonna bring some safety stuff on screen. And now with that safety stuff on screen, you guys can read over. I'm gonna read over the eyesight driver assist system with automatic emergency steering and the driver focus system. You guys can read over a couple other of those things. I'm gonna throw the government 5-star safety ratings on screen right now. This pretty much gets 5 stars in every aspect except the frontal crash for the passenger. So this, God forbid you get in an accident, you are in a very, very safe vehicle, as you guys can see. Now I'm gonna throw the rest of the window sticker on screen. You guys can check out the optional features that this has, as well as all the standard stuff. But I'm only gonna highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2023 Subaru Legacy Sport is spec'd is $35,956. I think that's a very good price personally, considering you get the bigger engine. It's actually a pretty dang nice interior, and it also rides nice, it looks nice, and it's just a great vehicle, again, for, you know, $35,000 and some change, or just under 36,000 bucks. So I think that's a great deal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but I do want to show you guys what those rear seats look like before we move into the driving portion of the video. So let's see what these seats look like. Rear door panel looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find in the front. All of this is leather wrapped. You get a black door handle, you get automatic up and down windows in the back. Good amount of miscellaneous storage in a spot. You can set a Deer Park water bottle, but you're not going to fit a smart water bottle. Now, taking a look at the rear seats, just like the front, you get the 50/50 leather / cloth. But let's step into these seats and let's see what's going on back here. So you do get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and this is also nicely leather wrapped and padded. You get a dome light up top here with 2 LED lights and 3 different settings. You can either have it off, you can have the lights turn on with the door, or you can have them always on. I'm gonna leave it on with the door because that would be the setting I would use. And then up here, get a OPU panel and a spot you can set your dry cleaning. Then over here, you get an OPU panel and another spot you can set your dry cleaning. You get 3 technically seat back pockets behind the driver's seat. You get 1, you get 2, and you get 3. Same thing for this side. You get 1 up top here, 1 over here, and 1. So that's 3 on this side, 3 on this side, 2 HVAC vents, a USB-C port, and a USB-A port. I am adjusted behind myself. I've got plenty of leg room, plenty of knee room. I am 5'9". I also have plenty of headroom as well. So I believe if I was like 6'3", I'd still be comfortable in these rear seats. One more thing I guess I will mention before we move into the drive is that you can fold down the second row seats from this button right here. All you got to do is depress that and these seats will fold down. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the Legacy Sport. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right guys, and now onto the driving portion of the review where we always start our videos. Here we go over, I knew that was going to happen because I had the camera on my face, but we go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour and I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. That was 5 right there. Did very well over the first one. Keep in mind guys, this has the sport tuned suspension, so obviously with the sport trim level you would expect it to have the sport tuned suspension, in which it does. Let's do 5. All right, I'm gonna give this thing an 8.1. It did very well over those speed bumps. And I had somebody, and I just mentioned this in my last video, but I had somebody in my comment section say, oh, you gotta go 10, 15 over those to really feel the speed bump and the responsiveness of the suspension and blah, 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 blah. When in all actuality, if you guys actually tested that speed bump out and you went like 10, 15 miles an hour, it would really jar you. I mean, those are some pretty aggressive speed bumps. Now, one thing I wanted to say is this with the 2.4 liter is an awesome car. I'm going to turn the auto stop start system off because I personally don't like that. But with the 2.4, I did a video last week with the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. And I don't know if I'd pull out like this if I had the 2.5 right now, but watch the acceleration on this. This thing just hauls bleep. Yeah, the 2.4 Great decision by Subaru to only incorporate the 2.4 liter turbo with the Sport. I mean, I've driven the Legacy now with the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, and if I was looking at a Sport and it had that motor, I probably would have been like, I don't know if I'm gonna buy this because it's so slow. I mean, the 2.5 isn't like super slow, but you can't put the Sport name with that engine, in my personal opinion. So I think Subaru did a great job putting this engine in the Sport. Yes, fuel economy does suffer a little bit because of this engine, but again, if you guys are looking at the Sport, I would hope that you guys aren't super fixated on good fuel economy. Even though this thing still does get good fuel economy, you know, you're looking at 23 miles per gallon in the city and 31 miles per gallon on the highway. So that's still great fuel economy. But you trade off like better fuel economy. I believe the other one gets like 5 miles per gallon better in the city and 5 miles per gallon better on the highway. But, you know, you're lacking the power. Whereas me, I'm fine sacrificing the fuel economy a little bit for 80 more horsepower and quite a bit more torque, more like 80 pound-feet of torque more. So personally, for me, I have no problem with the little bit of a less fuel economy because this engine is super strong. I think this engine matches this car very, very well. The Sport Tune suspension, I could notice that it had the Sport Tune suspension. I mean, there is very little body roll when I'm doing that. And I couldn't say the same with the Limited. The Limited also rode very, very nicely, but I would say that this thing definitely handles better, and this thing's definitely gonna handle carving up a back road better than the Legacy Limited would. So this has like noticeably good handling compared to the Legacy. Now, because it has noticeably good handling, you would think that it would be a little bit less comfortable and more of a firm ride than the Legacy Limited. And I gotta say, I don't really notice that much of a difference. I still feel like this thing rides just as good as the Legacy Limited. It might be like a touch, and by a touch, I mean like a touch firmer than the Limited. But I would take that again over the Limited's, more floaty ride, because this thing handles definitely a lot better than that does. So this, if I was looking at a Legacy to buy for myself, I'd take a step back and I'd be like, okay, well, which trim level do I want? How much money do I want to spend? Okay, I only want to spend like 35, maybe 36 on a car. Then I would probably at least go out and test drive this, because I know Stohlman Subaru, I believe the selling price for this right now, if you came into the dealership and didn't haggle at all, it's like $33,000 and some change. So you can get this for under $35,000. And for what they're selling it for at $33,000, whatever miscellaneous number it is, it's 33 something. This is a great value at $33,000. I mean, you get this nice big screen, you get the big engine. This thing really it's fast, and it honestly rips. And this is just a great driving car. The seats are super comfortable. I love how the headrest has the thing where you can push the headrest forward and then it basically just holds your head. That's very nice on a long road trip. And it's also very nice just as a daily driver to have that. And obviously you have your blind spot monitoring. The only thing that I wish Subarus would incorporate on other vehicles other than the Ascent, because I believe the Ascent is the only Subaru product that actually gets this feature, is the 360-degree view camera system. So the Outback doesn't get that, and this does not get that. But I believe, if they're going to update for 2024, I believe that they definitely should put a 360 camera, at least on their higher trim levels of, the Outback, the Legacy, and the Forester even. But I'm going to get into this lane here, and I got to admit, guys, this thing's actually pretty quick. It's fun to drive. I mean, it's not going to be as fun as like a WRX, but I don't think those of you guys who are looking at one of these are going to be cross-shopping this with a WRX. But hey, who knows? You might be. And this does not have the same transmission as the WRX GT, but it has the same engine as the WRX GT. So I believe the WRX GT has the high torque linear-tronic CVT, whereas this one just has the linear-tronic CVT with the manual shift mode. So you get like an 8-speed manual shift mode. So it's basically like an 8-speed automatic that you can control. But I'm gonna floor it here, give it a little bit of gas. Once you get above like those 3,000 RPMs, guys, it really starts to move. Like down low, it's like not insanely powerful, but it'll get you, where you need to go. but once you hit about 3,000 RPM, that's when the turbos or the turbo, whatever, the turbo is really starting to eat. So 3,000 RPM is really where you're starting to make some power. This guy's really kind of going slow, but he's going all the way across. So, you know, this thing's got plenty of get up and go. You just gotta give it a little bit of gas. And right now, you know, I'm just in intelligent mode. There's also a sport mode. So now I'm in sport mode, so the throttle response is gonna be better. Now, we're gonna do a little turn here. Hopefully we can make the light, but I'll show you guys what the handling is like. I'm gonna go. All right, we made that, no problem. All right, so let's see what the handling is like. Handles fantastic, guys. Oh my goodness. And in sport mode, it definitely pulls a little bit harder than it does in individual mode. That's pretty cool. So when I'm drifting out of the lane, which I'll see if it'll do it again. Okay, it doesn't want to do it again because it already notified me. But when you drift out of the lane, I'll do it one more time on this side. You guys can see how it does like that 3 flashes on the side that you drift out of the lane on. I think that's pretty cool. So it's basically trying to catch your attention. It gives you that verbal beep as well as the little flash. So it's getting 2 of your senses, both sight and sound, which I think is great. And that's you know, what I like about the eyesight system is not only does it give you a little bit of an auditory note, but it also gives you a visual note, which I think is really good because, you know, sometimes some things only give you like an auditory beep or a visual something. I think both work together very well to really capture your attention, because sometimes you're like not fully paying attention and you get a little beep or you get a little something and you're looking over there and it, you know, you're not focusing on that. This is another car I've been trying to do a video with, is the Volvo V60. Those are very, very hard to come by, but I've been trying to find one to do a video with. But anyways, this car is very nice. Now, one gripe that I do have is that I wish you could option the Sport with the Harman Kardon sound system. Now, if you can, you guys can correct me in the comments down below, but I did not find anything that stated where I could option the Harman Kardon sound system. I went on the Subaru website and I could not find it. So I think that's kind of a miss from Subaru. I think Subaru, you shouldn't just have a package that includes the Harman Kardon sound system or a trim level that includes the Harman Kardon sound system. I think you should make it like an individual option, like maybe like an $800 option. I know that's what the Harman Kardon sound system costs on like the Volvo XC60. So, you know, you can make it an $800 option, you can make it a $500 option, but if you did that, I think you might be able to sell a few more vehicles, because I had somebody in my comments down below on some of my other videos, I don't remember if it was an Outback or what it was, but they said to me, they're like, you know, I think that Subaru would sell a lot more of these cars if they made the Harman Kardon sound system an option. And I honestly got to agree with that person, whoever it was, because it's true. It's like, not everybody wants the bass sound system. You know, the sound system is good and you can get away with it, but once I started turning it up and messing with the bass and stuff and really pushing the sound system to the limit, I did get a little bit of distortion. Now, it wasn't bad, but you know, I could live with this sound system every day and not really have a problem with it. I'm really just nitpicking at this point, but I would like to have the option of the Harman Kardon sound system. Other than that, this car is I really like this car, you know what I mean? It drives great. The insulation is nice. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to see what it sounds like at 47 miles an hour. So you guys can see it's quite quiet here, and it rides great, it handles great, it's got plenty of get up and go. So honestly, you know, I've only driven really 2 Legacies now, I think. No, I've driven 3 Legacies, the Premium, the Limited, and the Sport. Obviously, this is the highest trim level that I've also driven, but this has been my favorite trim level between the handling and the power, and also the looks. I think this thing looks good, and I did gripe about this on the exterior part of the review, and I'm gonna gripe about it again because I can. Subaru, get your wheel designs together, especially on the Sport. These wheels do not look very good, and I've had so many people in my comments down below on pretty much all of my Subaru videos saying that Subaru really struggles with designing wheels, and honestly, I have to agree. The wheel designs on this, for being the Sport model, they suck. I don't think they look good. And a lot of people agree with me. So Subaru, if there's anybody from Subaru watching this video, which I highly doubt there is somebody, you guys really need to hire a new wheel designer or give us a couple different wheel options. Like, there are no wheel options that you can choose from on the Sport or any really trim level. So I feel like, especially on the Sport, you should have a couple different wheel options where you don't on this particular one. Now, before we end out today's video, I am going to be doing a 0 to 60 test. So let's skip into that 0 to 60 test now. All I'm going to do is throw it into Sport mode, and we got to line up on our line, which is about right here. And then I'm just going to floor it in 3, 2, 1, floored. '60. Pretty quick 0 to 60 time, man. This thing, like I said, it's got plenty of get up and go. More than enough, really, for what you need for a daily driver. The 2.5 liter is totally fine power-wise. However, if I was to buy a Legacy, I would buy the Sport. Now, I have not driven the top-of-the-line Legacy yet, but as of right now, after driving a few different trim levels between the Premium, the Limited, and the Sport is the one that I personally would choose. I think it looks the best. The only neg is the wheel design. Not really the biggest fan of the wheel design, but I love the way that the suspension rides. It rides great, but it also handles great. Power is great. Sound system is good enough. But other than that, I think it's a great package. I think it looks great from the outside. I think it looks great on the inside. I love how you have the wireless Apple CarPlay, the wireless Android Auto. You got the sunroof, auto dimming rearview mirror, the blind spot monitoring. The list goes on and on when it comes to the safety features and the nice little amenities that Subaru gives you. So overall, this is a very, very nice vehicle. I really like it. And it's got great get up and go, which personally for me is the highlight of this car. So that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and we're literally less than 1,400 away. So please, if you guys would, help me hit 10,000 subscribers by April 15th. Please, guys, that is my goal. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would help me make that happen. We're so close. So please, if you would, take a second out of your day, give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.